Last night, while I was watching the weather on the news, they had a story about the girls' basketball team coaches for Mayfield and Cruces here in town. And I was a little uncomfortable yesterday and last night because of, chemical poisoning and chemical poisoning and being kept here in a genocidal chemical poisoning field where they mass murder the poor. And I'm trying to get I've been trying since 2009 on YouTube to get the mass murder of the poor to stop. Okay. But old David Rockefeller and my crazy schizophrenic psychopathic, according to professionals, head said, they'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and your Jesus die, Parsons. I was like, that's not true. Once they realize they've been hoodwinked, they'll all stand up for your Jesus' perfect commands with me and not sit there and tell Jesus what to do for Rockefeller money so they can be cured from disease of being poisoned by having enough money to go live in Cloudcroft and watch the other poor people that aren't as good of a Christian as they are die in El Paso and Las Cruces near the freeway. That's not true. Well, Rockefeller told me that back in 2009. It's 2026. And people are still praying to Jesus to cure their cancer, but not stop the cancer through economic conflict and genocide. They still vote for president. They still vote for Congress. They vote for people that say, we're excited to vote for them. Yeah, the people in government should be afraid of us because we all vote a certain way. They get less money. Okay, forgive debt and trespass and love one and eternal faithful peace. Right. There's a group called Temple Set Illuminati. Okay. And they had a guy named Antoine LaVey who they used to manipulate political figures because all people are dirty. Machiavelli. Better to be feared than loved. And all people would have a dirty part of them and will do, And so there is no heaven or hell or purgatory. That's all stuff people make up. It's, it's all who you can trust. And you can only trust people when they fear you. And when you're right and you're strong and you're in power, you do what you need to do to stay in power. And if it gets dirty, it's because they're dirty. And then you straighten them out and then things are less dirty. Like Sonny on Bronxdale, right? So this is such fucking horseshit. Just forgive debt and trespass and love one eternal faithful peace. The poor guy's a mook. I agree. Mickey Mantle don't give a fuck whether or not you live in the street or live in an apartment. Live in a mob neighborhood or not a mob neighborhood. Mickey Mantle don't care. Mickey Mantle plays for the business partners of the mobsters to hold merchandise hostage that you have to pay for because we're not living the Lord's Prayer. So Mickey Mantle's an asshole. All product-pushing hoes that want to be pimps after they product-pushing hoes are assholes. We all know this. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or a neurosurgeon to figure this out and explain it to people. Buy my supplements. Wake up in the morning, look at the sun to get through the day. It's very important to have lots of protein in your diet. And if you have a heart attack, David Goggins will show up and make sure he keeps you alive so you can live to pay people to fight another day. Hi, I'm Andrew Huberman and I support this message, right? Now, like and subscribe to my channel. I'd like to remain a millionaire neuroscientist. Well, because I make my findings and my studies public. So people can, instead of having to go to a neuroscientist to avoid brain injuries, how to avoid brain injuries. How do you avoid brain injuries? I would say living the Lord's Prayer and not abusing each other of blunt force trauma through tribalism, economic conflict, and unnecessary stressful abuse. But he don't say that. He just takes animals, cuts them up, gives you supplements and say, buy my supplements. I'm a neurosurgeon. I'm a neuroscientist, right? Wow. Are there any theoretical physicists that might be able to theorize their way out of your fucking head so we don't have to listen to it talk anymore for money? Okay, understand? Right? And then people around here, that should, You got all this mechanization, all these billionaires doing horrible things. And at Fort Huachuca, they offered me, to be, before I came here, during the Obama administration, they had a nice well, he seemed nice enough. Like my dad, that person's nice. They seem to be. He came in and offered me a job to be a financial consultant to the very wealthy when I was working at a grocery store. I said, no, I didn't think it was going to be necessary because I thought we were fulfilling the Gospels. And I thought for sure during the Obama administration, he was going to tell everybody and we were going to apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer. They said 2009, it wasn't time yet. So I looked at the timetable of the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation. And I went to Gabe and we talked about it. And said, it's going to have to take this long for everything to be in place. And then that was up to January, his second inauguration. And then he went and privately took the words God out of his oath into office. Then publicly, the next day, went and did it with the words God in because the Republicans demanded it. And then that very next day, the man who speaks the truth because he is the way, the truth, and the life, publicly, displayed by the military and the wealthy, that was ignored. Well, choose Barbarous. And Barbarous was president again, right? Yeah, that was then. This is now. This happens way differently than it did during Jesus' time. Jesus didn't have the Patriot Act. Jesus didn't have a phone in everybody's pant pocket. Jesus didn't have, earbuds in everybody's ears. Jesus did, so this is radically different. So they're all being head screwed because their brain chemical addiction by the people they vote for competition. I feel successful money. And so I can't get through to them. But I can be the example for quantum computing and artificial general intelligence to save human beings from genocide and save the planet. Well, they plan on saving the planet. Okay. They plan on having a good environment to do what they do in. They just want to get rid of all the worker bees because the worker bees are disgusting and get in the way. I wish you weren't living with us by the Bob Rivers comedy group on Twisted Christmas. Okay. And I was like, no fucking way. Well, look how selfish they are. They'll pray for Jesus to heal them, and you're in their hometown. They won't stand up and say, Parsons is right, live the Lord's Prayer, I won't be dying from cancer. Oh, okay. So James Vanderbeek and Chadwick Boseman just as fucking selfish? So they were ugly and feeding their face and taking up space, hopelessly fat and lazy and constantly in the way there and had to pack up their gear and get the hell out and give the skinny girl pretend to be his sister the power of the protector of Wakanda, the most powerful country in the world. You can't even win an Oscar. Wow. That's batshit fucking crazy. Yeah, it is. And you guys will take resources that Solomon says we should use to provide what is right and needed for everybody, and you use it to make big mechanized devices so you can become millionaires off of holding the energy for the products you sell them to make them have better quality of life hostage with your mechanization instead of putting the solar panels and the windmills on each individual house. So they're standalone and then still, through the grid, provide enough technology to share it, not with mechanization, but with other communities that don't have the same environment that provides as much electricity for solar and wind as New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas, right? You won't do that. You'll put up big bird-killing factory farms that radically affect the ecosystem and instead of doing it with one little windmill around the thing, it's just moving in its little part and doesn't affect it at a big grand scale, looping the quantum looping gravity and the wind things. So it's radically different. It's radically different. Okay. You dig up all the asphalt parking lots because there's less use for them. And you put solar panels on little houses and little spots. It's like, hey, it's a little, what is it? It's a little, It's a little volcanic thing? Not really, because you put the little thing, it's heating up the things, it's causing energy, and then you're using the energy, okay, to cool a little house that's well built if it needs it, and run things on it and need it. And you'll probably need less solar panels and need less electricity from the solar panels to heat the house and cool the house when you build an Adobe house, right? You'll be using less appliances to sit there and play video games and be entertained because you're doing time and you need fantasy instead of reality. You're going to spend more time gardening. You're going to spend more time going outside. You're not going to be Utah Carol because you'll have better common sense than that, right? And now my friends, you ask me what makes me sad and still, and why my brow is darkened like that. And Marty's a good guy. I see other people, I was listening to people do reaction videos on him. And I'm like, well, the best one is Bound for Old Mexico, because this is pre-civil rights movement, right? Pre-civil rights movement, I'm on my way, because my life's not dependent on their kind of narrow affection, for the choice between them would be no choice at all. Yeah, and the problems we face would die where they are and not grow. You're like, this guy right here, man, this is a white dude. Okay? Talking about going to Mexico to marry the woman that was made to order for him to marry and have children with chapel bell chime. Right? And my love is the valley. It's all God's creation, and that's what I love, right? This is before John Denver. Okay? This is before, yeah. This is country music. Right? And this guy is playing Mexican music about marrying a Mexican woman and loving that Mexican woman, being predestined, and after they die to mingle together in spirits so they will know each other through eternity. Okay? That's what this guy's singing about, right? He's the coolest, right? And he breaks it all down. And even when the one guy, he's gangster, it's like, no, he's not gangster. Right? Because, the outlaw, the Texas Ranger wants to bring back Texas Red, the Arizona Ranger wants to bring back Texas Red alive. But Texas Red won't have it. So the Ranger has to kill him because he won't stop abusing people, right? That's not gangster. That's protecting people from gangsters, okay? When he gets jealous and irrational and he knows it's wrong and people did this and they shouldn't, they'll bury flow and that good for nothing man, that good for nothing man, right? When women do that to men, no, you weren't good enough. So I'm going to find me a new one. Okay? That's not the ways of King David. And, when you make a promise, I'm going to be with you. And then all of a sudden, no, I changed my mind. I want Biggest Dickus over here instead of you. You didn't bring home enough bacon to fry it up in the pan because you won't go to run for sheriff and make all money off all the cuts from all the brothels and the gambling casinos. You mean, no wonder the rifleman didn't have a wife. Okay, do you understand? You've been trained and conditioned to accept a certain way of living because the most recent presidents, their favorite movie for years was High Noon. And that's your training and your conditioning. Okay. No duty to retreat. I got to win, right? I got to win the heart of fair maiden. I've got to do this. And so everybody, this is America. Oh, really? I'm not saying Ivanhoe was not a bad book. Ivanhoe, most people don't get the religious logistics of the story and don't understand it because they don't understand genetics or genetic sequencing. They don't understand the Bible. They don't understand the Quran. All right, it's been turned into mythology instead of genetic sequences of people that inherit the spirit of the perfect one to give us perfect faith, so we're not taken in by the indulgences of the sinners. And hey, it all takes care of itself in a magic place in the cloud. Second star to the right, you lost your marbles. Come here, Julia Roberts. Faith and hope and trust and pixie dust. There you go. You're my happy thought. I love you. I'm a lawyer, right? Ah, damn, it's nuts. But that's how they are. Okay? And there's one man in Las Cruces, New Mexico, on a Samsung Galaxy 10 anonymously, okay, doing most of the work all by himself, okay, to correct quantum computing and artificial general intelligence. A lot of people say, that's not true. You got all these technological people helping you with it. All the technological people helping me with it. Okay, what are the technological people helping me with it doing? Well, they're putting up big mechanized things to keep themselves billionaires to sell products held hostage, right? And they're also selling products from people that either win the Super Bowls or try to win the Super Bowls. Because the more money what makes you, makes you pauper, makes you king, won't die lowly, have it all play range, right? Okay, so who is doing this? Okay, it's not NASA. It's not Homeland Security or DARPA. It's not the National Security Agency. It's not the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Okay, it's not the Central Intelligence Agency. It's not the United Nations. It's not the Paris Summits. It's Earl. Earl. I ain't nobody's girl. And I don't want to get sexually changed. And I want to help save. And I have to soak in that thought. He's sitting there, Earl, you do that as well for money. It saves money. Not having to use as many Epsom salts. He goes, Earl, so you're going to let your body shut down and die because you're worried about spending money on Epsom salts to help detox the body because there's still so much toxins present because of economic genocide in your hometown of cartels versus Homeland Security. Good morning, Ralph. Good morning, Sam. And you tell them every time you go to the store, guys, we got to stand for the Lord's Prayer, so we have to put up with this Mel Blanc cartoon bullshit. And nobody helps you, not even your own family. They're doing NIL. They're doing education at stores where people get a piece of paper to, hey, now I can really afford my extortion. Thank you for this piece of paper, right? And you're like, seriously? Why do you even pray to Jesus? Jesus, tell Earl what to do. We don't live the magic stuff until, okay, Julia Roberts here, shake some of this shit on what's my happy thought? Living the Lord's Prayer. Okay? Because my children are not my happy thought. My children are denied the Lord's Prayer and think dad is crazy because he's trying to get everybody to stand up and live the Lord's Prayer. So my happy thought is the Lord's Prayer. Okay? That's it. Okay? You guys all pray for money. I want to win American Idol so I can move my family from El Paso to Cloudcroft. What? Okay, what about your neighbors? They have to win American Idol to move their family from El Paso to Cloudcroft. Son of a fucking bitch. What about him? He can go work and drive oil trucks. Okay, and then if something bad happens, Glasheen, Varys, and Indersman will make sure he loses his job if somebody goes all Machiavelli and tries to pull in front of him while he's driving. When he's out of position and they can say he was at fault. Shit. They're passionate about that shit, Wow. Michael Coopin just happened. Yeah, here, you got gold teeth. That's his brother, the dentist. Wow. Hey, Herbie wants to be a dentist. Yeah, fame and fortune, silver and gold. So even Burl Ives didn't know what the fuck was going on. He sang a pretty good Christmas carol. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And in case you didn't hear, Gimbals is open and they've put up Christmas stuff right after Halloween. Okay. We ain't got to Thanksgiving yet. Yeah, well, Gimbals doesn't sell turkeys and cranberry sauce. You're right. Okay. Hey, is that a Santa's elf lingerie? I'd like 2 of those, please. I have a wife and a secretary, right? And so you're like, God dang. I got those steadily depressing, low down, mind messing, working at the car wash brews. A man with my abilities, I should be smoking on a big cigar, talking trash to the secretary, saying, hey, mama, come on over here, right? Shit. Your man, Ruby Ann, you don't tell them what we do here at office, do you? Okay. No, all guys have those fears when their wives are a secretary for a man in a private office and he's in a construction site. Yeah. Wonder what she's doing now. We're getting that new bathroom with that island and a new bed and a new black cocktail dress, and I'm painting the ceiling beige. Right. Okay, so she's paying the bills. She's the man. She the man. Right, and we're gonna make movies about it till the end of time. They say, da na 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 na. Access Hollywood. Access Hollywood. So is there a place for the hopeless sinner who has hurt all humankind just to try to trap the glory of God? And there you go. Yeah, television. Television. In memory of Robert Redford. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind. Smiles we gave to one another. For the Andy Warhol way we were. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again. Well, it's been way before high noon, and it's way past high noon. And they're trying to do it all again. Tell me, would you try to be as stupid and selfish as you possibly can and keep going, Earl? But Jesus. And then he told me the stuff about human trafficking and how the politicians, I had Mark come tell me, everybody's Jesus tell me in prayer. Okay, I don't want, they use young people to manipulate and manage the politicians, because if they get caught, they'll have to commit suicide and everyone will call them a pervert. But we live in the Lord's Prayer. And they all voted for that pervert and ignored the Messiah on YouTube for over 16 years. Where they get off saying, hey, send no Barack Obama to jail to be sodomized by big guys with tattoos. The plane. Okay, where did they get off? You voted for him. No, I didn't. I voted for Trump. You participated in the contest? Then that's your American Idol. I didn't participate at all. Did you get online and stand up for the Lord's Prayer? No. What'd you do? I joined the Proud Boys and was going to do terrorism, domestic terrorism, until your club that does things right with money for terrorism to be Mad Max people of the TV, to rule the world through professional wrestling and football forever. Wow. And now we own the league. And we make money off of everything the league does. We own professional wrestling. We make money off of everything professional wrestling does. Stand up for the Lord's Prayer. I don't have to kick you in the dick so hard your whole family will feel it. That happened July 19th, 1966, because my life was necessary, because your rotten pig-stealing ancestors denied Jesus Christ, you're one in the Roman Empire, and you've been doing it ever since. I was born by the river in a little tent, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know truth is supreme. I got him back in my arms again. And all you reflection of a love that used to be, that was year one when you crucified Jesus and denied love that day. You've been denying it ever since. You're all alone now. No love to shield you. Trapped in a world of a distorted reality. Right? You woke up. Suddenly you just woke up to the happening, and it's still happening. That was an Anthony Quinn movie. Yeah. Okay, and then it happened. Woo! And then it happened. Hey, life, look at me. I can see that we are free to make choices. But we have quantum computing and artificial intelligence now. And I use my freedom of choice to stand up for the Messiah. Even though I say I'm one, of course I am. Because the Messiah stands up for the Messiah so we can all live the love of the Messiah. Okay, every generation has somebody that do that. We just don't know because it's been erased from the archives, and if it doesn't exist in the archives, it doesn't exist, so we're going to be killed by Clone Wars. Oh, then what happened? Then the clones will be replaced with battle drones, and then what? And then he's going to turn on the buzzsaw like the dynamite and put you on the railroad track. And Jones, he's run off with Katie Gerardo down the back alley, and there's angels in the architecture, right? Woo! Woo! Is there eagles in the architecture in Las Vegas? I don't know. I ain't been since I was a kid, yeah. All right, man. So Who's gorgeous? I know, thank you. You're welcome. In my dreams, you all can put me on the bench. I've been on the bench my whole life. Okay? It don't bother me. I don't want the devil's money to go shopping with a prostitute. Bury us both deep and maybe we'll find peace. And pull in the trigger so you can feel close to the cowboy's chest. Right? Now, whenever the wind's blow, a woman is crying. It's not the wind sighing. You know, I was crying last night watching those videos, those reaction videos. Dad told me today that they're burying a prissy on Saturday because cancer is still a disease and a horrible, economic abuse is still making people live a long, tortured life because of your economic conflict instead of the Lord's Prayer. If you guys had chosen the Lord's Prayer in 2013, I wouldn't be going to El Paso on Saturday to say goodbye to my father's first wife, to help his beautiful daughter recover from all her kindness, caring for her mom, and this hell that you give her because you won't stand up for the Lord's Prayer of her eternal father Jesus and her brother Earl. All right, guys, I love you. Peace out, man. We'll talk later. Show me that ass. First thing in the morning, I'll get up. I'll get me a little bit of breakfast. I'm going to come kick your ass. Well, what would a good father do? Just ask Dwayne on Tech Room Bible Tech. Otherwise, you guys are asking for money for diaper money gospels, and that gospel's not pretty thin. It's really thin. It's as strong as a pamper. Okay, I love you, all right? Peace.